success, growth, progress. You may tell yourself that you're chasing something, maybe one of those things. You may be chasing forward motion. It sounds clean when you tell people, when you tell yourself, when you say it like that. I'm chasing success, I'm chasing a promotion. It sounds purposeful, it almost even sounds noble to someone. But if you're being completely honest with yourself, what is driving you forwards is not the pull of what is ahead. Instead, what it is the discomfort of what happens if you stop. You are not chasing success. Be honest. You are simply avoiding the end. You are scared of what happens if you stop. Because the end is not failure. The end is completion. And completion exposes something that most people are not ready and never will be ready to look at. It's what remains when there's absolutely nothing left to pursue. When your passion finishes and when your drive has slowed down and when your motivation has run out. Movement gives you a cover. It gives you something to hide behind. As long as you're in motion, as long as you're constantly moving away from something, nothing has to ever settle between you. You don't have to sit inside what you've already built, and you don't have to confront whether or not it's already enough, or even worse, whether you are enough. Forward momentum keeps the question suspended. It keeps it in the air and you can avoid it and you can keep telling yourself you'll answer it later. It turns your life into a sequence of almost. I'm almost there. I'm almost finished with this. I'm almost satisfied. The danger is not that you won't make it. The danger isn't that you will never answer this question. It's that you might actually arrive to those almosts. People assume that the arrival feels like some sort of relief. And for some people it does. It may even feel like something that they've been chasing their whole life. There's something that they've wanted, something that they've been yearning for. To other people, however, it may feel like exposure. It may feel like you're being thrown into the limelight. When the next goal disappears, the noise drops. It starts being raw. It starts being quiet. And in that quiet, something starts asking you questions that effort was keeping at bay. It starts asking the questions that you never were ready to settle with. Was this what you were moving towards? Maybe one of them. Is this all your entire life has amounted to? And that's a really scary question to answer. Or what about something like, who are you when there's nothing left to outrun? It'd be impossible for you to answer these questions right now off the top of your head because you've been avoiding them for so long. And the reason for that is that you've been manufacturing distance. You add complexity to your life and you raise the bar and you decide that your life is not done yet, even when it actually is. And it's not because there's so much more to build, but because being finished feels like standing at the edge of a cliff with no script, with no bridge right there, with nothing to catch your fall if you fall off, if you step off. Failure allows you to try again over and over. It allows you to keep going. Completion doesn't. Completion takes that away. Completion tells you this is done and this is how it is. It's finished, no matter how much you enjoy it or hate it. Failure preserves your narrative. Failure allows you to explain it, and it allows you to learn from it, and it allows you to use it. And it's a good thing. Failure is an amazing thing because you learn from those mistakes, like I just said. However, what completion does is remove the leverage entirely. There is no next attempt to hide behind. Like, there's nothing for you to duck behind and tell yourself, okay, well, this was shit, but I can keep trying again. There is no improvement arc like failure has. There's no future version of yourself waiting to redeem the present. It's just you here sitting presently with whatever it is, whatever you've messed up, whatever you fucked up in the past or right now or currently. Same thing, whatever. It's you sitting with that, and as much as you don't want to be present, your body may force you to be, and that's why people don't want to complete anything. That's why people sabotage themselves right before the end. It doesn't have to be consciously. It doesn't have to be something that you act upon. It may be structurally. They may force themselves to miss a deadline unintentionally. They may change their direction at the end because they don't feel satisfied enough with what they've currently got. They may complicate a simple task just so they feel like they're actually doing something. From the outside, it looks completely irrational to everyone else. Like, why would you change your whole project when you've only got 10% left to go? You've done whole 90%, you've done everything, and you've only got this left. Why would you change it? From the inside, however, it feels completely necessary, because finishing would mean admitting that the chase was doing more for you than the prize ever could. The world praises this. At some point, forward motion stops being this tragedy, this huge, terrifying thing, and instead becomes a shield. It becomes a cover for you to hide behind. You protect the whole process because the process protects you. It's cyclical. As long as you're becoming something, as long as you're becoming, not even present, as long as you're just doing something, you never have to actually be. You never have to exist. As long as there's another step to this, there is no reckoning. And the world praises this irrational movement. And again, like I said, from the outside it looks irrational, but from the inside it's justifiable. What the world does is reward people who keep going. It rewards the people who continuously push themselves, who refuse to settle. It rewards the hungry. It rewards the ones with drive and passion. However, it doesn't ask what settling would actually force those people to face. It doesn't ask them whether endless striving is actually courage or if it's just a sophisticated, philosophical way of postponing contact with themselves. You don't fear the end because it is empty. You fear the end because it's so honest and it's raw, and it asks the questions that you never ask yourself throughout the whole process. An ending strips away every single fact of justification. It removes the excuse of potential, and you can't say it not yet anymore. You can't keep telling yourself, I'm not ready, not yet, not enough, I'll do it someday, etc., etc. You cannot promise yourself that the meaning is going to come later because you've already arrived at that later. You're left with simply the uncomfortable task of inhabiting what you've already made and what you've already fucked up, even if you don't enjoy it, even if you don't want to stay with it. You have to. It's holistically without the adrenaline of pursuit there to hide it and mask it and animate it for you. So you continuously move. You may you may fall for these fallacies, and you may call it ambition, and you may call it drive, and you may call it discipline, and you may call it anything you fucking want. But it's anything to you that sounds better than the word avoidance. However, avoidance doesn't always have to look like retreat. Sometimes avoidance even looks like the acceleration that you constantly push yourself towards. Because like I said at the start, you are not chasing any sort of success. What you are doing is avoiding the end. And the longer you stay in motion, the longer you stay accelerating, the longer you redline your fucking car, the longer you redline your body and tell it to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, the harder it becomes to remember who you were before and what you were running from in the first place.